We're gabbing. We're gabbing. We're gabbing. We're gabbing. We're gabbing. We're gabbing.
Welcome to Gabbing
Gabbing
with Greicy
and Heather.
I am finishing up a Pinot Grigio that I was drinking the other day. It's like Sachetto, and it was really good. So I'm just gonna finish the bottle.
I am drinking rosé. I need to try something. I've been drinking rosé for God knows how long. Anyhow, it's the unicorn one that I talked about recently. 14 hands. It's really nice. It's a limited edition or limited.
Oh, 14 hands, like a horse. How they measure horses, I guess.
Oh, really?
Well, we are circling back to the good old days, and by good old days, when we had terrible sound quality.
Yes, let's bring it back.
Yeah. Our first ever episode that we dropped was Stranger Things season 4. And it was so long ago. We had to wait so long for season 5 to come out. So tonight we decided that we were going to rewatch season 4 and discuss it again since season 5 is finally out. It's not out as of the recording of this, but by the time it'll be out. And so we're going to talk about Stranger Things season 4.
Along with Supernatural, a bad yet good idea that we had.
Yes. Yeah, it's so long. I didn't remember it being this long. Like every episode, I was like, why is this episode so long? There's so much in it. I was like, how are they doing this?
How did they indeed? They had a lot to say.
They did. There was so much in this season. And it was funny. I actually rewatched all the seasons. And every season had so much going on.
Hold up. You did not tell me you were doing that.
Oh, I didn't tell you that? Oh my gosh. It took me so long because I didn't remember. I was when I was watching season 1, I was like, oh wait, I thought this was season 3. I was so confused. So I actually rewatched all 4 seasons. I don't recommend it. Well, it was good in that now I remember what happened, but it was so long.
It's fine. The only issue is that I felt like I was in a time crunch.
Yeah. It's not that many episodes, but they were all so long and there was so much packed in each episode that you were just ugh.
Yeah.
But Stranger Things.
What a roller coaster of a ride.
I was surprised how much I didn't remember.
You know what I do remember?
What do you remember?
That whole Soviet Union, that whole entire thing. I was like, why are we here?
Every time, in my notes, I would be and meanwhile in the Soviet Union, blah, blah, blah. I don't remember them being in it so long.
Can you explain briefly why they were there? Because I remember something happening in season 3 with the Soviet Union.
Yeah, so this is why rewatching the whole thing really helped me. So in season 3, the whole story was they were at the mall and something was going on at the mall. And so they were investigating what was happening with the mall and everything. And it ended up being that the Soviets had some kind of secret room or something in the mall where they had there was some kind of connection to a gate to the underneath. So that was season 3's plot line, is that they were trying to stop the Soviets because the Soviets were had access to the Demogorgon, the gate and everything. Joyce and Hopper ends up blowing up the gate, and Joyce thinks that she sees Hopper get killed during the explosion, but we find out in this season that he ended up surviving it and they came back to the Soviet Union. And then they were hating on him and Joyce because they foiled their plan.
How did they find out about the gate?
If you remember, Steve and Robin were working at that one shop where they had to dress up as sailors or an ice cream place or something.
Yes.
Yeah. So everybody would go hang out there and they saw some kind of suspicious delivery thing, if I'm remembering correctly. So they saw boxes being delivered, and so they got super sus about what was happening and started snooping. And then weird things were happening too, because there was the whole storyline with Max's brother Billy, stepbrother Billy, because he dies in that season.
I feel like I should have rewatched season 3 or maybe all the seasons, but that's not happening now. I was just what happened? Why are the Soviet Union involved in all of this?
Yeah.
It's okay. It's not the end of the world. I just still feel like that storyline was kind of useless.
And that was 1985. So we're full on into the Cold War. which that shit's all happening again. So here we are, Stranger Things predicting that we're going to be back in the Cold War.
Well, I told Corey the other day, when are the aliens coming?
They came last year, didn't you know that?
We need to come again and make more of a presence.
They need to take you back with them.
and my Fitzy. I'm not going to leave them behind. But we need further official confirmation.
Of the aliens?
Yes.
The whole plot line of the Soviet Union, I was like so over it.
It was too long-winded.
It didn't need to be that long.
It didn't need to be that long. I love Murray. I love Yuri, that whole interaction, but it didn't.
Enzo was fun. I want to know if he's going to be in this next season because
that's a good question.
He's presumably now in the U.S.
Right.
Yeah, did they both stay in the U.S.? I don't think Yuri was. Yuri was too busy hustling. But I can't imagine Enzo can go back. He would end up back in prison.
Right. Public enemy number one. We'll find out soon enough. There's going to be so much stuff going on soon enough.
Yeah, these are going to be long episodes when they come out.
Yeah, I agree.
The whole Papa and Dr. Owens thing, I was kind of over as well.
Really? Why? I didn't think it was so bad.
It wasn't on the level of the Soviet Union, but I was just can we just progress? I know, I understand the reason for it, but I was just so exhausted.
Did Owens?
This is making it sound like I didn't like this season. I really did like this, and I was just so exhausted. I'm just so emotionally exhausted by life. Yeah, were you about to say where is Owens now? Because presumably the military has him.
I think that by this point, at the end of the season, the military knows that, or do they know, that it's not Elle that's doing this.
I would think so, but they were being pretty dumb.
They were being pretty dumb, and it's her being she wasn't there when everything went down. She was in whatever town. So
she was in Nevada.
There you go.
And apparently Hawkins is in Indiana.
Yeah, I was having such a hard time remembering that this season.
I thought it was in Colorado. I would have swore on my life that it was in Colorado.
Well, I was thinking it was in California because no one's walking around with jackets or anything. It's spring break. Why isn't it cold?
Well, Mike or when Mike goes to visit Ellen Will, they're in California, right?
Right.
Yeah. So you just had to catch up with that.
I just felt were they in another area of California that we had to fly in? But the whole thing just threw me off that no one in Hawkins, Indiana was wearing at least a jacket.
They do have
the teens.
One of the seasons had snow. I want to say the ends of season 1 into season 2 had snow, but you're right, they weren't. And Indiana gets quite cold. Indiana's pretty far up there.
Yeah, I don't get it. Okay, get your shit together, Duffy Brothers, whatever the heck they are.
Duffer Brothers.
There you go. Thank you.
Duffer?
Because that doesn't make any sense to me. But whatever. So we talked about 2 things that could have been better.
Yeah, because it's the school year. It's not during the summer.
Yeah, it's spring break, which tends to be in April, let's say, just to generalize it, because different places have spring break at different times.
Or sometimes March, because it usually coincides with Easter.
That's even colder.
Yeah. Huh.
Even colder. But to get back to Papa, I guess it kind of did drag, but we needed to understand.
I think I thought he was dead. I think we're supposed to think he's dead. So I was not prepared for him to be in the season. And I felt they dragged it out a lot. But we had to understand the backstory. We had to go through her memories to get the backstory.
They could have made the backstory a little bit faster.
Because the whole purpose of the backstory was so that she would find out and we would find out that she wasn't the one that killed everyone, that it was actually Henry. And I did how they did the final reveal where they had Vecna explaining the backstory to Nancy and then Elle remembering the backstory and them going back and forth. I did like that part. I thought that was good. But it just felt like they dragged out over too many episodes, that memory recollection.
Do you think that the dragging is a result of, what's the proper way to say it? Just big egos? Our show has been doing so well that we can have more exposition than needed.
It could be, but it also could be that because there's this line where like, I don't know if you remember, Elle gets her powers back for like a hot minute and she's gonna escape, but then like she loses her powers and Papa goes, "You didn't think it was gonna be that easy, did you?" Or something like that. He said something along those lines.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it could have been them just dragging it out, showing that like it's not like an easy process, like that she's going to have to go through all the memories and the trauma and like understanding of what's going on in order to permanently get her powers back, that it's got to be like a long dragged out process and not going to be easy, like Pop like was saying.
And there's no point in doing a quote unquote time jump because there's so much else going on in between.
Yeah.
It was only a matter of a few days, but
if anything,
yeah, it did.
The timeline is hard to know because so much happened, but it might have even only been like a week.
I think it was a week because you use everything else that's happening, you know, the boys from going to California to Nevada and then everything that's going on in Hawkins. Like it is like day after day after day. Her stuff can be a little bit blurred if it wasn't for these other storylines that are happening in America, because Soviet Union also, like, how is it that all of that is happening so quickly?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it is like the timeline is spring break.
A whole week.
Although I'm trying to, they do a time jump at the end. I think it's like 48 hours from when they like defeat in quotes Vecna to when the boys. I have collectively just started calling the Scooby Gang, the band, like Mike, Jonathan, Will, Elle, and Argyle, the boys, just collectively to make it easier. So that like it took them like 48 hours to get from Nevada back to Hawkins. Or were they, from Nevada or wherever. I don't know why it took them that long. But yeah, so there was that like time jump thing.
Where'd they get the money for the gas? That's a whole nother story. And how is it that, you know, Surfer's Dude or whatever the heck the pizza place is called hasn't called the police to let them know that a van has been stolen, but that's the topic for another day.
And their people are missing. Maybe he has a history of doing that.
Imagine.
Also, his name's Argyle, right?
Yeah, Argyle.
So Argyle, I felt like, was the only character in this season that had appropriate responses to trauma. Like, people are dying left and right. And like everybody's like, whatever. And he's like freaking out.
Rightfully so.
And Jonathan's like, you just go over there and get stoned. I wrote at one point, I was like, this is the only dude that actually is appropriately responding to this trauma.
He is. And
a government official bleeds out in the back of your van.
He's being told to drug himself.
Yeah.
So appropriate. So appropriate.
I liked him. Can we talk about how Jonathan looks like he's 84 years old in this season? He gets a glow up for season 5 based off of the trailer.
He looks. Oh, really? I don't think I paid attention. I have to look at this now. He looks like he has not slept for days. He has bags under his eyes.
From the beginning.
Like, what is going on? Is it because he's smoking weed all the time? Like,
it must be. Point? He must be just so stressed out over college and Nancy and everything.
Is that the actor's like actual look? Now I gotta look it up.
Yeah, you look it up because he looks a lot better in this season. Because it was the first thing I noticed when I watched season 4. I was like, dude, Jonathan, like, you need a spa day, bro.
Go to sleep.
And then he looked so much better in season 5 in the trailer.
Somebody told him something. Where is he? Charlie Heaton is the name of the actor.
I'm so curious to, not to like talk about season 5, but I'm so curious to see what the time jump is going to be too. Because I think I pointed this out to you the other day that at the end of season 4, Elle has a shaved head and she's got some long ass hair. I love Max.
Max is a great character. She's so flawed.
She's very relatable.
She is
with her flaws.
She's had a hard life, and she finally had it good, like Elle, right? And that's why I think that they kind of relate.
Yeah, it's like right when things start to go okay, and you think it's going to be okay, life kicks you in the teeth.
Exactly. She can't.
And I feel like we've all had that moment. But yeah, like her and Elle bonded because of that.
Yeah. Because they were like the odd girls out, right? Like,
yeah,
Elle for obvious reasons, And Max, she was a tomboy. And I think that
He was new.
ousted, like the boys are like, why are you trying to escape? Whatever. Yes.
Yeah.
And the girls
Yeah,
are
we
like,
have that memory when she's little and she's at the skate.
yeah. So I think that that's why she was the odd man out.
And then she also, like, they brought up a lot of, like, unbeknownst trauma and stuff in this season. That was really nice. And, like, you see Lucas be like, I didn't know, I should have seen. Like, because there's, like, so many instances of, like, you don't know what somebody's going through. I just saw, like, this post on social media from this teacher who said, I had a student, when I first started teaching, I had a student come in late for class, and they said, my mom died this morning and I didn't know what to do. So I decided to come to class. Yeah. And she said, ever since that moment, I never make assumptions about what's going on in someone's life. And I like give them grace for things like being late or making mistakes and things like that. And it's like, this season shows a lot of that. We saw like, there were so many people, Max being one of them, that had things going on that the people around them had no idea. And we saw that with Chrissy, where like Jason couldn't imagine that she would be going to buy drugs, because if she had a problem, she would obviously go to him, but she was like really suffering through her situation with Vecna and didn't like tell him at all. Like he didn't have a clue, and he thought like, obviously, like I would know if something was wrong. Like she would tell me or I would be able to see it. And then Lucas had that with Max. Like he knew that she was pushing away from him, but he had no clue what was going on with him. And then we saw that with the other two as well, Fred and what was the other basketball guy's name? There's so many notes.
So many people.
Like Patrick or Parker or whatever his name was.
Patrick.
And like, yeah, and Lucas goes, I didn't know. I should have known, because he tells some story about how like Patrick came in one time late and he had what looked like maybe some bruising. So something was going on at home that I didn't know about. And it's like it's a good reminder that like you're interacting with people and you don't know what's going on with them. You don't know what kind of day they're having or like what kind of homes.
You give grace, but don't expect to.
It's not an excuse.
Understand? Yeah, it's not an excuse, but I think a lot of people are. You have your own things going on. Like, don't feel guilty is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
If you're not able to catch it at that moment, and it's after the fact, because we're living in a world where there's so much going on. We don't, as much as we want to be empathetic and considerate to others, we have so much going on internally within ourselves that it's hard to extend the empathy towards other people sometimes.
That's true. We can't be, well, we all can't be perfect.
Yeah, exactly. And these are
all the time.
They're children. They are teenagers, okay? They shouldn't even be thinking about any of this. They should be out there having a great time, being innocent children. They may not want to hear the words children coming out of my mouth, but that's what
they are. Their brains are not fully formed.
No,
and that brings up like the adults in this series. They finally woke the fuck up a little bit. Just a smidge. Just a tiny, tiny little bit. Their kids had to be accused of worshiping the devil for them to wake up just a smidge.
Just a smidge.
Like there had to be a literal witch hunt by the townsfolk.
Dustin's mom was like, I was waiting for her to just have a full-blown panic attack because she was just there. She was like right there. And she's a single mom. She doesn't have anyone else to lean on, like the other two parents or families, I should say. So I was just like, calm down, Mrs. Henderson. You're going to...
I've got to overcompensate for Mr. Wheeler, who doesn't have a fucking care in the world. He's just sitting on his recliner, ignoring everything.
But you got to give it to them because they know their children and they know they didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they never for a second thought that their kids were actually like worshiping the devil.
Yes, they know who their children are. Thank God. What's the name of the mom? Where is she? I just saw her right now for Nancy and Mike's mom.
Now, what's interesting,
Karen Wheeler.
Because I've been reading about the satanic panic, because it was a whole thing, and I remember it at the time. People were crazy. So the Satanic Panic was mainly during the 80s and into the 90s, where like people, it was basically like a modern day witch hunt. Like people kind of compare it to like the QAnon thing right now, where like there started to be all these like conspiracies about like devil worshipping and stuff and satanic sexual abuse. It kind of started a little bit back before the 80s, like with the Charles Manson murders, and then you had like other like the Son of Sam and the Night Stalker and stuff, where they would mention like Satan, but like it really was like a thing in like the mid, I would say like, well, actually, there was this book called Michelle Remembers that came out in 1980, and it was like about this lady who, a psychiatrist or a psychologist, one of the two, had interviewed her and had recovered, in quotes, memories where like she was sold to a cult by her parents and stuff. And so it was like this big scandalous book that came out. And so it kind of started with that. And then like there were like situations where like there were like a lot of daycare centers and stuff where the kids were like recovering memories again, saying like that like the daycare people were making them drink blood and that like they were like raping them with knives and other objects and like throwing babies against the wall, like all this like stuff that when you're thinking about it, you're like, this is absolutely crazy. But like people were like believing it. And it all stemmed from false memory, where like people were interviewing these children in like an inappropriate way and implanting the memories into the kids. So it was like the kids were like taking cues on from the adults about what the adults wanted them to say, and the kids just wanting to make the adults happy were like making up these stories and stuff. But it got really bad, and it actually helped with like changing the whole process about how children are interviewed by like the police and psychiatrists and stuff like that, because like it like people realize how easy it is to like implant false memories. But anyway, it was like ended up being like hundreds of daycare centers were under investigation and people were arrested and all these lives were ruined and stuff. Like this one couple ended up in prison for like over 20 years with all these allegations of like satanic sexual abuse and stuff on kids. It was like terrible. And then there was
one of the craziest things I've ever heard.
And then there was like the Memphis 3, which this makes me wonder like what the socioeconomic situation in Stranger Things is, because some of these kids are definitely like not middle class. Like Max's family, for instance, are not middle class, and Eddie's family are not middle class. Like they're like working lower class at best. But the Memphis 3 were these 3 teenagers who were arrested for killing 3 children, and one of them got 40 years, one of them got life, and one of them got death. And they were in prison for many years and then later found completely innocent. And they were just like 3 poor kids that were kind of like petty criminals. Like they would like do like vandalism, like little things like that. So they were known by the police. And they were into like rock metal and they dressed all in black and stuff like that. And so everyone assumed that they were the ones that killed kids because of that, because they were poor kids that like were different from everybody else. And the one mother even said in court, like, if we had money, my son would never have been accused of it. And Damon Eccles is the one that got death. So he was on death row for years and years. He was 18 years old when he was arrested. And he finally was released, I think, in like 2011. They were found to be completely innocent. And like the really messed up thing about that situation is they never found out who really killed him. They think it was one of the family members of one of them.
Of course.
But because they like automatically assumed that these 3 kids did it and that they were like devil worshippers and stuff, those kids never got shot. So there was like all these different examples of things like that happening. So they were blaming rock music, they were blaming Dungeons and Dragons, things like that, saying that these were like gateway things that got these kids into like satanic worship, and that they were like,
so Stranger Things kind of did their research.
Yeah, they keyed in on the Hellfire Club and it being a Dungeons and Dragons related thing. And Eddie is like a lower class kid who is into like rock music and stuff like that. So he was definitely the prime example of who fell into this satanic as a victim. So, and the Hellfire Club goes back to, I want to say like the 1700s or 1800s. Let me see. Yeah, the 1700s, 1718. The first one was founded in London by this guy named Philip Wharton. And they weren't originally called the Hellfire Club, but they got like that term later. And they were basically like gentlemen's clubs that people could like talk freely and do things freely and stuff like that. Like think of the places that Benedict would go to in Bridgerton, where like people would be like doing stuff, like making out, and you would have like a free space where you could be who you wanted. But like why I got like the name Hellfire Club is that they tended to be places too that would like satirically make fun of religion. So like they would make up bizarre rituals and stuff like that to kind of like make fun of religion. And so a lot of it seemed very like devil worship like that, but it was like just like funny rituals and stuff that they were coming up with.
People took offense and took it to another level.
Yeah, so the Hellfire Clubs were like a thing back in the day. I think Benjamin Franklin was to them. But they weren't actually called Hellfire Clubs. They had other names, but that became like name.
Okay.
But yeah, so they definitely like did their research with like having the D&D club be called the Hellfire Club, and having like Eddie as like a character is like spot on like the type of kid that would have been accused of abuse and everything. And but then like we see, and this is probably the case with a lot of like people that got wrapped up into the satanic panic, Eddie was actually like a really good kid, but only his father and his friends saw it.
It wasn't even his father, it was his uncle.
Or his uncle, yeah, thank you. His uncle.
And all he did was be interested in playing Dungeons and Dragons. He was into heavy metal rock music.
Yeah. I mean, he did sell drugs, but like, it didn't seem like he was selling drugs willy-nilly either.
No, like he really questioned Chrissy. Like,
yeah,
like
especially when she wanted something stronger.
Yeah, like you don't want to get yourself into something like that. I think considering the type of world he was living in, he needed the extra cash probably, and this was a last resort.
And it was like a coping mechanism a little bit. But he was kind of a shepherd. He had his flock of like his little motley crew of people that felt othered by the world that he took care of.
It's circumstances, the circumstances.
R.I.P. Eddie.
I know, he was a really, really, really sweet guy. He's like, I didn't run away. And I'm like, oh God.
And like I had like, hold on, I gotta go through my millions of notes.
I was wondering why Dustin didn't go to his uncle and tell him, like, hey, here's a chain that belongs to him. I saw him with Dad. But again, I have to remember they're children.
And he did it eventually when he saw him.
Again, they have
so his last words were, I didn't run this time, right? He tells Dustin to look after everyone. And then he says, I think it's finally my year. I love you, man. Like, really good person. So even like with his last moments, he's making sure that Dustin takes care of the group. And he says, I love you. Yeah, because he's such a great character.
Somebody had to go, I suppose, but
in a world of Jason's, being Eddie.
Oh my God! Well, Jason's done. Jason got chopped off in
half. I forgot about that. Like I knew he died.
I forgot about that too.
But I was like, dude got cut in half.
Oh my gosh! That's what happened. You going to hell?
Yeah, he went right down there.
You can't be fanatical, people. Like I don't know. I'm not putting that situation.
Everybody riled up.
He got. And that's the thing that blows my mind. All you need is that one person, right? To bring that energy, to egg on, to fearmonger. But what kills me is that it came from a teenager whose heart was broken. Like, when you are hurt like that, you can create a lot of chaos.
Yeah.
You can.
Like, I was very sympathetic at first. Like, I understood, like, he was grieving and everything. But then, like, he latched on so hard to, like, Eddie. And, like, that's, like, a prime example of, like, the satanic panic. Because you would have, like, there was this one situation. There was a daycare in California, I think. And there was, like, one kid that it turned out it was the father or the stepfather or somebody that was actually abusing the kid, but they thought it might be the daycare. And so somebody with good intention, but somebody ends up sending a letter to like 100 parents of current and former kids from daycare saying, we're doing an investigation for possible abuse at the daycare and we're looking for this stuff. And they give a list of different like abuse. Can you talk to your kids and see if any of this happened to them or is happening to them? And so the parents go, and like I was saying before, like the way they were questioning the kids, it was putting the ideas into the kids' head on what they should say. So they were confirming everything that was in the letter. And it was like, so one person that like with like their outrage or their grief or like whatever, with good intentions to try to like stop something bad from happening, creates this like clusterfuck that can like ruin so many. Because not only did they ruin the daycare people's lives, but they ruined all those kids' lives because they now think that they were abused.
Even talking to Bitsy, it's like, well, in asking, in trying to find out something. Like if I say, well, did you do this? It's like I'm giving him this idea and he's going to roll with it. And I'm just like, oh, I got to figure out
how to so careful.
Ask that question. Yeah.
They just want the adult to be like, okay with their answer.
If they're not cognitively advanced, right? Or they don't know how to explain things, express themselves.
Right. And these are little kids.
Well, you said. Okay, fine.
Yeah,
not
sure.
realizing the consequences. They're babies, and you can have a teenager also not be, like I said, cognitively advanced, for lack of a better word. They may be neurodivergent. There are multiple reasons why you need a professional there who is not going to egg them on to say something.
Even some adults.
Against someone. That's what I was thinking too earlier.
Like you wouldn't know this because you don't watch true crime, but there's the Making of a Murder docuseries, and there's like,
saw that.
Oh my God, you saw that?
We saw that when it came out.
I am shocked, people. Gracie does not watch this sort of thing. So the nephew in it, he had some issues that made him very like vulnerable to falling into that. Like he was saying things just thinking that that's what they wanted to hear, and that like they would let him go home and stuff like that. And so like it was an obvious, to anybody that saw the video, it was like an obvious false confession. So it's like you have that even with adults, and then like take like a little kid that's in preschool, they don't stand a chance against questioning like that.
Yeah. I mean, you could be a master manipulator. All you have to do is just put the words in their mouth, and then that's it. Hey, buddy, didn't you hit Jane one day? Oh yeah, I hit Jane one day, and then you just roll with it.
Right.
Oh, is it because you don't like her? That you could.
Did you see this person do this?
Yeah.
Instead of asking them, "What did you see?" You'll say,
Right.
"Oh, did you see them take a knife and cut her on the arm?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw that.
Mm-hmm. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And then people's lives are ruined. And then meanwhile, the person that should be receiving some sort of penalty or something is not, they're getting away with it. That's the thing that's like extra frustrating.
So,
it's like not only did you ruin someone's life and their family's life by falsely accusing them and imprisoning them, but then like the person that actually did the crime is probably going out and doing that again.
That's the devil at work, girlfriend.
Should I read? Well, actually, I probably can't read what I wrote about Angela.
Why not? Why not?
I can edit it. We might get penalized for putting it using such foul language.
So bad.
Because I wrote, Angela is a West Coast beep, beep, and deserved it.
We curse on this all the time.
But okay, so I think I could say one of them. Angela is a West Coast beep, bitch, and deserved it. She needs to mind her business. Keep it moving.
She is the...
We're not in Great Britain. I can't say the one word.
Oh. See you next Tuesday?
Yeah, exactly.
All you had to say was see you next Tuesday.
Angela is a West Coast see you next Tuesday, bitch, and deserved it.
She is all that is wrong.
I instantly hated her. I was like, and that teacher, And I'd been like, Angela, go to the principal's office.
Yeah, like, you did wrong. Well, maybe she did go to the principal's office, and then she saw her Elle at the skate rink and was like, "Oh, we're not on school."
Well, no, I don't mean that time. I mean initially when she was doing her little diorama, and like she was like, "How is he a hero?"
I am pretty.
I was like, "You bitch."
Sure that teacher has seen her act the fool numerous times in the classroom. So yes, I agree with you. She should have been sent to the office. But I have a feeling she has really annoying parents that maybe the teacher's trying to avoid.
And she's obviously rich.
Yes.
And Elle is not.
No, poor Elle.
I felt so bad. And meanwhile, she's lying.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's acting like she's friends with Angela. Who the fuck wants to be friends with Angela, first of all?
She's the popular girl in school. So I think that's why she wants to be friends with Angela. She didn't have popular friends when she was at Hawkins, so I wonder why she would want to be friends with her, but I don't know.
I will say I never cared about being friends with the popular kids. I had my friends, and I didn't give a shit about anybody else.
I want to dress like the pop kids, which is different, but I didn't want to be friends with the popular kids. And who the fuck
That's funny. I didn't. I remember my mom, when I was like a teenager, being like, I just want to thank you on behalf of your father and I, because you never wanted like expensive clothes or anything like that. And that helped us so much because we never could have given them to you. I was like, yeah, I don't give a shit about that stuff.
I just like, it was, well, to be honest, even to this day, like what's popular in sneakers and stuff like that. Like, I'm like, what's that called? I don't know what's that called. Like I would see the Jordans and I would be like, and I would have like this specific Jordan sneakers in mind. I remember seeing it on a girl's shoes and I was like, I want to get those. But I like couldn't, like my brain couldn't wrap around like going to a store and like buying it on Dykeman or something. And
I did want Doc Martens.
I have fake Doc Martens. That was
I never,
not the boots, but the shoes. Like it was really popular in like 7th grade.
I wanted the boots, and it's really funny because now I have them. I never wear them.
And I want to buy them, and I don't buy them.
So, like, I had this realization, like, several years ago. Oh, I'm an adult. I could just buy them. So I did find them on sale, and I got a pair, and they're fantastic. I just, because they're so expensive, I'll be like, oh, it's a little, like, muddy outside. I don't want to wear them. So
I don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit. I bought myself a pair of dunks.
I'll wear them tomorrow.
Dunks, and I don't wear them that often. And my Air Force Ones, and I don't wear them that often.
Yeah. The only thing like that I use on a regular that is expensive is my bag.
Of course,
and that's only because I didn't pay for it.
Well, and also it's not something that can get dirty. Like you put it on the ground, you lose your money. I believe in that. Don't put your money.
Yeah.
No way. Superstitious Greicy is coming out.
Yeah, no, I don't put it on the ground.
On the ground.
But I probably would have put another bag on the ground.
No purse on the ground. Well, that's different. As long as your wallet is not in it, you good.
So that's the only one I use on a regular. And I didn't pay for that. I won it. So my Doc Martens are the only thing. And most people are probably like, Doc Martens aren't that expensive. They're expensive for somebody like.
Well, if you don't indulge in anything that's over a certain amount of money, then yeah.
Yeah. Like I would only buy like Skechers or like New Balance or anything like that. If like I could get in that Ross dress for less for $25. Like I grew up with like the generic everything. Like, generic shoes.
I went to some random store on Dykeman, still there, and they had knockoffs. And that's where I would
get the rummage sales. I went to a lot of church rummage sales. I never had like new furniture, new clothes, new nothing.
I do like to buy new clothes. I will say that. And new sneakers. I never done thrift, but I will say that like when it came, even when I was younger, when it came time to like buy school shoes, we would get, like I said, get to that store on Dykeman, buy whatever from there, and that's that. Now that I'm older, I do invest in like better quote unquote quality shoes.
That's because we're older.
Especially the winter stuff. Like boots and stuff, like the summertime.
That are going to keep you warm and dry.
When Payless was around, I used to buy shoes off of Payless all the time because I'm like,
Yeah.
shoes come and go. Fashion comes and goes. And for women, at least, I think we can shop anywhere and make it look expensive.
I've actually been researching expensive shoes right now. Like I really need a pair of shoes that are like $150, but I refuse to buy them.
Why are you looking for shoes that are specifically $150?
Because I didn't tell you this. So I went to the podiatrist about my foot. Y'all, I've been in pain for like over 2 months with my foot. Like I've been limping around like a fool. So I got an x-ray. I went to the podiatrist. I thought I had Achilles tendonitis. I kind of do, but it's caused by, I found out that I have high arches. So I haven't been wearing the right shoes. And because of that, I have 2 heel spurs growing. I have one growing up the back of my heel and I have one growing underneath. And those heel spurs are putting pressure on my Achilles tendon and causing it to be inflamed and painful.
Did you tell me this?
I told you I was going to the doctor about it. Like you knew I got the x-ray.
So painful. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Can they stop growing?
Yeah. So one of the things I have to do is because of my high arch, I should be wearing a heel. I should have a 5 to 10 centimeter heel because my foot should not be flat. It should be like leaning so the heel's up. I don't wear heels at all. I wear the flattest shoes ever.
Where do they come up with the shit?
I guess it's just like there's like 3 different foot types, and that foot type is prone to the spurs because of the tendons. For my foot to be flat, it's putting a lot of pressure on and the pressure I guess causes the bones to like grow. So I was looking at, so they gave me inserts. So I have inserts to wear in my shoes now. That's been helping a lot. And then I have like anti-inflammatory and like steroids and stuff. So it's getting better. But they were like, go to a shoe store, go to a running shoe store.
Okay, because I'm looking at a picture right now. You look like the probable alien. I know I said, when are the aliens coming? But not my friend Heather, the alien. Okay? No.
I have an alien in my foot.
Okay? I mean from outer space, not within the world. Okay? What is this? How the hell does that happen? How?
I don't know.
How does our body function or not function? Okay? I need to have a talk with Jesus, God, the powers that be. We need to have a discussion because this is just a little bit too much already. I was not anticipating this conversation at all. This is crazy to me. And you have it in the back and in the front?
I have it underneath. So like if you look at the heel, I have one growing up the back of my heel and then one growing underneath. And the one going up is like worse than the one underneath. I think I broke Greicy. So anyway, so like he was like, go to a store that like a good running like shoe store because they're going to know exactly what you need. And you can get like these sneakers that have like the heel built in already. And so I found them and they're all like a dorsal
spur and a plantar spur.
Yes.
That's what you see in the house.
Gracie's going to be like a foot expert.
Well, my mom actually had a lot of foot, like she needed support for her.
Yeah. I remember when I worked at the post office years and years ago, I worked with a guy and he was like, Heather, as an older person, I'm going to give you this advice. Always take care of your feet. Go get good shoes. No matter what, always take care of your feet. You can deal with anything else as long as your feet are okay. And he's right. He
has a point.
Cal was given the wisdom.
Oh my gosh. Massive digression. Yeah, we are like the complete opposite of what we did the first time around. We were very focused.
Yeah, we were.
Were we? I don't know.
Okay, what else do we want to talk about? All right, Angela sucks. She's a rich bitch. We don't like her.
Talk about, the show is because of the down under, or the upside down, sorry.
Yeah.
The upside down. How we got to that point, maybe we just talk about. Because even in rewatching it, I was completely like, whoa, Elle got some powers. And
yeah, Elle's crazy strong.
Manifested what he wanted for him. Like, okay, so he basically thought about what he wanted, and Elle made it happen. And what I mean, he thought about it. I mean, like when he was younger, when he was living in that house.
And you're talking about Henry / Vecna
Thank you.
/ one.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, you're right. Like Elle is like, we knew that Elle was powerful, but we didn't quite know how powerful for the season.
Yeah, I mean, she's done her thing. There's a story behind it, and you know what? I wish we had more of a story of. Okay, he has like this innate power, and the other ones were born. How were the other ones born? Have we been introduced to that?
Well, we
topic?
get, I think it's in season 3, either 2 or 3.
Lord.
We get like Jane, like Elle's backstory, and we meet her mother. And so it sounded like her mom had been experimented on while she was pregnant. So I don't know if the other kids were born that way, or if like maybe some of them were like Henry, where they were like acquired because they had the powers naturally. But it sounded to me like he was the anomaly and that Papa had experimented on people to make either on their parents or on them directly to make people like him. Because he said like when Papa couldn't control him, he decided to make his own creation.
Yeah. But then he ended up injecting him with whatever. He was able to find something to control him.
Put that little chip thing in him.
Yeah.
That Elle thought was a tracker.
Yeah.
But he couldn't control him without that. He had to block his powers. And
Yeah. He was dangerous.
Papa's a villain.
You think Papa's a villain?
I think Papa's a villain. Because it's not like he was trying to, at least I didn't see it as he was trying to help Henry. He wanted to utilize what Henry was for his advantage, which is why, like, instead of just like blocking his powers and letting him live like a normal life, he decides he wants to create others like him.
I mean, but
and they're use them against the
powers for bad.
Henry?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then like typical like white dude in power in the US, he wants to utilize something like that and use it against the Soviet Union. Because like Elle, like the
That's
whole
what
time
he wanted to do?
yeah, because remember like Elle says like the whole time like she was out in the dark, she didn't know what she was looking for, and it was like a Soviet Union that you're having me like try to spy on and stuff. It was a military operation.
Okay, don't remember any of that. Yeah,
I rewatched.
I'm not going back
because I don't remember. I don't think that was this season. It might have been this. I think it might have been last season. It might have been this. I don't know. But yeah, like so they were using her and her powers to try to like as part of the Cold War.
Oh, the fact that little itty bitty Elle is able to, and that's why he was attracted to her, because he recognized the force behind her. But she like did he really know that she was going to help him become Vecna?
I think
he even call himself Vecna.
No,
he just called him Vecna.
Vecna was from D&D. The boys gave him the D&D because Vecna, I guess, is like a powerful wizard in D&D. Yes. I guess. Yeah, like I think he just knew that he was so good at manipulating, and he saw something in her that nobody else really saw except maybe Papa, because like everybody else was like clowning her, like acting like she sucked because they could control their powers more. But like I think he saw that like she couldn't do it because she was so powerful. Like it was like her body was almost like fighting against it, and so he was hoping that he could manipulate her. And he did.
He did.
But then he went and killed everybody.
Like as if that would be the right thing to do at that moment. Like, stay here. I'll be right back. It just
shows how twisted he is that why would he even can't control himself.
Oh, he did it because he didn't want them. Okay, never mind. I answered my own question. But very egotistical.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely not surprising that he became what he became because of his ego and his like lack of empathy and his like just rageful kind of attitude.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's like the big difference, because like while Elle can get really upset and rageful, she has like the empathy that he lacks. And I was gonna say like her friends help her, and they do, but she also inherently had that before she met them. Like Will says, people like Mike being in her life also helps her with that, helps her realize that her empathy and like all her other good qualities are what she should focus on. Will, I just want to like hug Will every time I see him.
Remembering our conversation, surprisingly, I told Corey, like, oh, this is the scene where, everyone talks about, like, maybe he's gay, whatever. And I'm like, there's definitely, it's not anything definitive, but there's definitely something there. And
he definitely loves Mike.
Yes. And I was going to say, even if it's not anything on a quote unquote a sexual level,
on an emotional level,
attractional, yeah, like that's his best friend. Like those were the two.
Like, yeah, like he's talking about Elle, but he's also talking about himself.
Yeah, he's like losing a friend because he's so, and it happens when you have friends who are in relationships and they kind of forget about, their friends. And that seems to be.
We'll say you never option. Do that.
Huh?
I will say all the years I've known you, you've never done that.
No, I like my freedom. I'm not attached at the hip to anybody.
In fact, you're like, I don't want to hang out with my husband with you because it's going to take attention off of you, and I want my Heather time. Like, you straight up say that.
But Will, I like cried for those scenes.
Yeah, they were so touching, and like Jonathan and him, and like Jonathan, I just want you to know, no matter what, like you're my brother, and I love you, and I'm always going to be there for you. Yeah. And then Will saying like, I'm also going to be there, and like breaking up and crying. I was in tears. I was done.
I couldn't help it.
But like from season 1, like rewatching, I was like, I like imprinted like a mama on Will. I was like, I just want to hug you and take care of you and tell you everything's going to be okay.
We're so focused on
like this poor kid.
Yeah, we're so focused on Elle and her story that we kind of forget about Will. And we're Mike, essentially.
Yes. Yeah, they try to make you be like Mike, and then like Will pops up.
He has this connection. Like Henry chose him for a reason. We don't know what that reason is.
And he's gonna get him in season 5 again. Like at the end of season 4, he feels his neck because he feels Vecna coming.
Because he's always had that connection and never stopped, right?
Yeah, he never fully severed it.
I don't think it's gonna end well for Will.
Which that's reminding me of the scene in the hospital where like he takes over Will, and that was season 2, and it had Bob in it, and I didn't realize that Bob died so quickly.
Yeah,
like Bob seemed so fundamental to their group.
Yeah, it's
R.I.P. Bob.
I don't think it's gonna end well for Will. I'm being honest.
I can't. My heart can't take it.
I don't want it to happen, but I think that
he's gonna have to sacrifice himself.
Maybe.
I think I was so focused at the end.
That last thread, because he has all of these things, these beings. Oh God, Heather, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Heather, it's okay. I'm just theorizing. It's okay.
This time, Gracie.
No, she put her head down. I thought she was gone. She was gone. But maybe he's the last thread because everything seems to be connected to Vecna.
Yeah, you could be right. We'll find out soon enough. But I like at the end of the season, I was so focused and worried about Max that I didn't even consider that as an option.
But I think that's where they're going to get us. They're going to make us forget again about Will, and then he's going to be served up in a platter and be gone.
And they do kill someone every season.
They do, and someone important, someone vital.
Because it was like Barb in season 1, Bob in season 2. So somebody's gonna die.
Yeah, someone's gonna bite the dust.
It would be crazy if they killed them all.
They can't imagine. No,
that would be an ending. I don't know if it would be a good ending.
People would be pissed.
They could Squid Game it. Just kill all the major characters.
But that's typical, right?
Or Rogue One. I wouldn't say it's typical. We're more happy ending. Have you ever seen Rogue One?
No.
Okay, spoiler alert. If you haven't seen Rogue One, it's been out forever. Every single character dies in that movie.
Is that like Star Trek?
It's Star Wars. So do you remember Princess Leia saying like the information that she was getting? She says, a lot of people had to die to get this information to me.
Yeah.
So Rogue One is those people getting her the information. It's basically like a team of people
Oh, it's a
that have to
prequel.
go to it's a prequel.
Prequel.
They have to go
Oh,
to this. They have to go get this information that's vital for the resistance. So they get the information, they transmit it, and then the whole planet just like explodes and they all die. Well, we have some dates that we're waiting on because Hop and Joyce are supposed to go to Enzo's for their date. Because when she has like the panic thinking that he's going to die like Bob, he says, I'm not going to die today. We got a date. And then Max and Lucas were supposed to go to the movies on Friday. So she needs to wake up from her coma so they can go to the movies.
But she's not anywhere in there. She's like,
I know. I blocked that
limited.
out the first time. And then when I saw that this time, I was like, I can't find her anywhere.
Yeah, unless she's gone off to do something else.
She's got to be somewhere.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we didn't talk a whole lot about Stranger Things.
We didn't, but that's okay.
But it was good to rewatch it so that we're ready for season 5. So, like, we're going into season 5 where, like, Vecna has taken over the actual town of Hawkins. They think it's an earthquake. A bunch of people died. I forgot about that, which makes sense.
People died. But it's like a ton of people leave too, and it's like, why are y'all leaving if it's an earthquake? Like, don't you want to stay?
New York is New Yorkin.
It doesn't even matter. It is probably 40 degrees outside. They still whatever.
Like whatever. Yeah, everybody was piecing out. Like, where are you going?
Yeah, where are you going? Did they have enough because so much has been happening in the town that they're like, okay, we can't deal with this no more.
Maybe they think, I bet they think that the earthquake was brought on by Satan to tie into the satanic panic.
Yes. Okay, that tracks.
And like even with Eddie being missing, they're like defacing that.
That like, I'm like, really, people?
Justice for Eddie.
He's gone missing. He's gone. He's bye. Jason's dead.
They even say he's presumed dead. I'm so glad Dustin did talk to us. Yeah, so like
closure is good.
The ashes are in the air, which reminds me of Last of Us. Like the things that float in the air and the upside down.
Yeah.
That they're in the right side up. The flowers are all dying. Bad things are happening. Is it the mind flayer?
I wonder.
Out and about.
Yeah. I wonder what the time jump is going to be, because we do see in the trailer that Lucas is carrying Max and she doesn't have like braces on her arms or her legs. So it's
well, that's what I was saying. Like,
it has to
she's
be
still
a
in
year
a coma.
later.
And Elle has long hair.
I believe it. It's probably like a year later.
They look much older, but they could look that much older.
Obligatory time jump due to age.
Yeah.
Due
to striking, there's a time jump. Because her hair grew real fast.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you're right, because Max is still in the hospital. She seems to still be in a coma or unconscious in some way. But like her arms and legs don't have like the casts on them.
No. So I think it's a big time jump, because I don't think bones heal, in a matter of a week or so. So.
Oh, no, definitely not. So, yeah, I guess we'll wait and see what happens. I'll be really upset if they don't find her where she is, wherever she is.
She'll find out.
That was a really cute scene where they were like, Max and Lucas were talking through, like, writing on the paper, and he asked her to.
Yeah.
I love Max. Do you have a favorite character?
I was just thinking about Erica.
Erica, I can't believe we haven't talked about Erica. But real quick, I'm going to say that Max and Will are my Erica is such a queen.
Favorite character. She is.
I love Erica.
She's so like, why y'all lying? They're running around, and everyone's like,
right, exactly. She's like, she shouted them out so hard, but then she helps them escape and like save the day.
Read the room, girl. Read the room. Oh my god!
And she took out that basketball team player that was messing with her, but she couldn't get to Lucas quick enough, unfortunately.
Of course, I mean, we have to find something to, deter her from helping. But it was so frustrating, that scene. I was like, really, kid? Really?
But she's a great character, and she's like so smart. She's like the youngest of them, but she knows exactly what's up.
Yeah, she knows exactly what's up, big time. Oh, love it.
She did. I will say, like, I don't think she realized what she was doing, but she did throw her brother under the bus with Jason. because like his dumbass didn't realize that he was friends with all them, which that speaks to how like oblivious Jason is, that like he didn't know who any of Lucas's friends were.
Yeah.
Like you try to act like you're friends with him and that you're on the basketball team. You're supposed to be like the captain of the basketball team, but you don't know that like
his world is the basketball team.
Yeah, like he's
around.
He's very myopic. And that's why it's also not surprising that he didn't see what Chrissy was doing. He just wants to see what he wants to see.
Exactly. He never really saw Chrissy for who she was, and that's why she didn't go to him asking for help.
Eddie saw Chrissy way more than he ever did.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And that's why she trusted Eddie.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's going to be real interesting. I'm excited, but I'm nervous now, especially after this conversation. Can my heart handle it?
We shall see. That's all I'm going to say.
Last thoughts?
None.
Well, hit us up on Instagram or email us and let us know what you thought about season 4 and what your hopes are for season 5. Well, and at this point, you may have already watched season 5, but if not, let us know. On Instagram, we can be found at GabBin'Podcast, or you can email us at GabBin'Podcast@gmail.com. And
thanks for listening to Gabbing. Go check us out on Instagram, like and follow us. Check out our other episodes. We are on all the major platforms where you can find your podcast. Feel free to buy us a coffee.
Please do. We need it.
Talk to you next week. Thanks for listening to Gabbing.
Gabbing. We're gabbing. We're gabbing. We're gabbing. We're gabbing. We're gabbing. We're gabbing.